Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry that I have not posted as of late. I was a little busy, but anyways, we got a packed video right now. We're going through week 12. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready to go. So you might notice I don't have the game to watch on any of these anymore. I don't know. Just something that I took off. But anyways, let's get right into it. So starting off, first game, Patriots-Jets. I have the Patriots taking this one. Patriots have had the Jets number for a while now, especially when Sam Darnold's the QB. I think Bill Belichick can scheme up that defense to limit Sam Darnold. I think they'll come away with the win. Next up, Seahawks-Bills. I have the Bills actually taking this one. I think these are two really good teams. If this were to be, I think this would be probably the game to watch of the week. Two very good, very talented teams that I think will. It's a must-watch game for sure for any football fan. But I really like Josh Allen. I think the connection that he will build with his receivers over time, guys like Stephon Diggs, John Brown, as well as the evolution of the running game, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. I think that the Bills are going to be a very complete team on both sides of the ball. And so are the Seahawks, but I think this is, just a battle of two great teams. The Bills end up on top. Dolphins, Cardinals. I have the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals. I think they have more firepower on offense, more playmaking ability from their, wide receivers, their running back. I think you could make the case Mike Gesicki is better than gives the Dolphins the advantage at tight end. But other than that, I think Cardinals still have the edge. Moving on, Panthers versus the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, who will play tonight. I got the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just going to be too much there. I don't think the Panthers' defense will be able to limit the Chiefs' offense. I think the Chiefs' defense will do enough against Teddy Bridgewater to hold them off. Broncos, Falcons. I have the Broncos. I think Broncos are going to have a good year this year. Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton, Phillip Lindsay, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. Like, all those guys on offense are going to be able to put up points. The loss of Von Miller is going to hurt, but I think Bradley Chubb might be able to, step in coming off an ACL and improve. And I think they get the win against the Falcons this week. Moving on to Raiders-Chargers. I actually have the Chargers winning this game. I think Chargers are one of the hardest teams to predict, partly due to their quarterback situation, just because we don't really know what their quarterback situation is. I think they're an interesting team to watch. I think they'll struggle for a majority of the year, but get a couple wins, against solid teams like the Raiders or something. Alrighty, Colts, Ravens. I have the Ravens. I think at this point, the Ravens' running game with J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, and Lamar Jackson, maybe even Gus Edwards a little bit, will be one of the best in the NFL. I think Marquise Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews. I think those type of guys will be pretty good. So yeah, I think they'll be just too much for the Colts. I think the Colts put up a good fight, but I like the Ravens in this one. Steelers, Cowboys. I have the Cowboys taking this one. Nick Mack's probably going to get mad at me in the comments, but, well, that's the price you pay. So I think the Cowboys pull this one out, partly because they're playing in Dallas. I think the Steelers might lack a little depth at the cornerback position, whereas that is one of the Cowboys' strengths. With guys like CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. So even if you lock up, let's say Amari Cooper, you still got, two more than capable wide receivers who can beat you in a variety of different ways. And not to mention Zeke either. But I do think the Steelers' run defense is, top-notch. And could slow down, not shut down, but slow down Ezekiel Elliott. Next up, divisional matchup, two struggling teams, Texans, Jaguars. I have the Jaguars pulling this one out. I think they just have the advantage at home. I think Gardner Minshew can come to play here, DJ Chark. I think Deshaun Watson's just not going to have anybody to throw to, quite frankly, other than David Johnson. So, yeah, I think this will be, it'll be It won't be a very meaningful game because I don't think any of these two teams are going to make the playoffs, but I think it'll still be a close one, as a lot of divisional matchups are. Bears-Titans. I have the Titans winning this one, actually. I think I had the Bears starting off pretty hot. I think that's largely due to just the schedule that they have. And I think the Titans are a very talented, very good team. Lean on Derrick Henry, pass when they need to. I think it's a perfect fit for Ryan Tannehill. They might have given him a little too much money, but I think for the way that he fits with that offense and what Mike Vrabel wants to do, I think he's perfect. Moving on, another divisional matchup, this time in the NFC East. You got the football team versus the Giants. So I have the football team actually pulling this one out. As division games go, they're pretty. They know their team pretty well. They can scheme up for them. They've been going against them for years on years, and I just think the football team is going to be able to pull this one out. I'm not sure who's going to be starting a QB at this point, whether it'll be Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, Steven Montez, or Kyle Allen, or somebody who they bring in for all we know. But I think they'll be able to get this win against the Giants in a pretty close but somewhat sloppy game. Packers 49ers, rematch of the NFC Championship, and I think it's the same result. 49ers just going to ground and pound. I don't think the Packers improved their run defense enough to make a big enough difference against the team like the 49ers. It might show improvement against teams that aren't as run-heavy and run-oriented and just really good at executing the run, but I think for the 49ers it'll be kind of the same story as the NFC Championship. Alright, and now last couple games, Lions and Vikings. I have the Vikings in this one. Divisional matchup, NFC North. I think the lack of experience on the Lions, specifically on their defense, could hurt. I think the Lions are going to put up a lot of points this year, but also allow a lot of points. Because they have, guys like Matt Stafford, Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, T.J. Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson. They have some good players on offense, but I think their defense is going to struggle, specifically when it comes to experience. Whereas I think the Vikings will be able to rely on Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins when they need to, and pull out the win. Next up, divisional matchup. I got the Bucks winning over the Saints. Remember, they played in Week 1. I believe I had the Saints win, but I don't know. I might be wrong. But I think this time around, I think the Bucks will win. I think Tom Brady will pull it out, and the Bucks will be. It'll be a big win for the Bucks, to kind of cancel out that head-to-head tiebreaker. All right, moving on. Week 10. Here we go. Ravens, Patriots. I love the Patriots, but it has to be the Ravens. Ravens are just a better team all around. The Patriots struggled against them last year, and Patriots had a way better defense last year. Offense, you could go back and forth. I'm interested to see how Cam Newton does, because I think it could be a better offense than last year, but it also very well could be worse. So we'll have to see. Next up, Bills and the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals taking this one. I think this will be kind of like a little bit of a fluky game. The Bills came off a big win against the Seahawks, I believe, last week. So I just think, a little bit of a trap game. Having to go across the country to Arizona, assuming there's no bubble format type thing put in place. So I think this will be a close one, but I do think that the Cardinals will be able to pull this one off due to scoring a lot of points and also limiting Josh Allen and company just enough. Jets-Dolphins divisional matchup. I have the Jets taking this one. Interesting thing to note, these two teams play each other this week. Week 10, Week 11, they're on bye. Week 12, they're back at it again, playing each other. So it's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic for sure, but I think the Jets win this one. over the Dolphins. Broncos, Raiders. I have the Raiders taking this one. I think the AFC West is going to be, Chiefs at the top of them. And even teams even within the AFC West can beat the Chiefs for sure. But I think that's the thing about divisions. Anybody can really beat anybody. I think that's especially the case with the AFC West. I think this game will be evident of that. Bengals, Steelers. I got the Steelers winning. I think Steelers defense will be able to limit Joe Burrow and company to make some throws he might not want to, or force him into, put him into an uncomfortable situation. So that's how I see this game playing out. Texans, Browns. I got the Browns. I think the Browns are going to have, once they get into their groove, I think Baker, Odell, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Nick Chubb on offense, and then guys like Mac Wilson, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I think those type of guys will really find their groove and, find their identity as a team. I think they struggled with that last year. But I think they'll definitely make some great strides in that department this year. And next up, Colts and Titans. I have the Titans taking this one. I think the Titans, I think these are going to be two pretty good running teams. Titans obviously more, centered around Derrick Henry, whereas Colts, I think it'll be more of a running back by committee with their 4 strong runners. So I think this will be a close game. This is definitely a game you'll look back on because they're obviously in the same division. I think these are the 2 best teams in the division this year as well. So I think it's going to have a game with some big implications on it for sure. Moving on, Jaguars, Packers. I think it has to be the Packers. I think Gardner Minshew's going to struggle in Lambeau. I think the Jaguars just really, especially after parting ways with Yannick Ngakoue, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them this year, to say the least. Next up, Eagles, Giants. I actually have the Giants taking this one. Kind of going back to the point I made about the AFC West, I think in the NFC East, anybody can beat anybody. I think the Giants can beat a team like the Eagles. The Eagles, I think, are a good team as long as they stay healthy. But the Giants have the players to kind of have that breakout type game. Daniel Jones could throw for 300 yards. Saquon Barkley could rush for 100 yards, get 2 touchdowns, and have 75 receiving yards. Right, that's well within the realm of possibilities. Giants are kind of a boomer bust team, but yeah, I think they'll be able to pull out the win against the Eagles in that game. Football team versus the Lions. I have the Lions taking this one. It's a bit of a, kind of a slugfest. 2 teams that have struggled to this point in the year. So I think that, it'll be interesting to see, interesting to watch. I think the Lions pull this one out just because of their experience on offense. 49ers, Saints. I have the Saints taking this one. Drew Brees in the Dome. I think he's going to excel against the 49ers defense. I think this will be a really good game. But I think in the end, the Saints pull it out. Seahawks, Rams. I have the Seahawks winning this one. I think the Seahawks are a very talented team, especially with the acquisition of Jamal Adams. That makes them a lot more complete. Kind of a little Legion of Boom vibes with, Quandre Diggs, not Cam Chancellor, Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. Kind of like Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, I should say. So yeah, I think the Seahawks pull this one out by, limiting what Jared Goff in the offense can do. So, yeah. Next up, Vikings, Bears. So for this one, I actually have the Bears winning. Bears started off hot, I think. They'll, be an up and down team throughout the year for sure. A little bit like the Giants, where they have, the tools to be pretty good. They have a good defense, that's for sure. I think the biggest question mark, obviously, is Mitchell Trubisky. But hopefully that question will be answered, whether that be in the form of Trubisky playing better or, playing bad and getting Nick Foles the starting job. But we'll see. Definitely something to watch, something to look out for. So, yeah, moving on. Last game, Bucks-Panthers. I have the Panthers taking this one. So the Bucks, if you remember, had the meeting the Saints. I just think Matt Rule might excite that team, get them up for this game, get them inspired, and in the end, pull out the win. All right, 2 more weeks to go. Week 11. Patriots-Texans. I have the Texans taking this one. I think these are 2 teams that are going to struggle this year, but I think the Texans pull it out. Chiefs-Raiders. I have the Chiefs taking this one. I think it'll be a close game. It's in Las Vegas, but I think Patrick Mahomes and company will be able to overpower the Raiders at the end of the day. Chargers-Broncos. I have the Broncos. Broncos continue on their little roll because they're young players who can really, ball out, and they're really comfortable in their offense at this point. Titans-Ravens. This is a game that Ravens have to have circled on their schedule from the start of the year after their disappointment last year in the playoffs. So I think the Ravens don't disappoint. They pull off the win against the Titans. Steelers-Jags. Has to be the Steelers-Jags are the worst team in the NFL. At least on paper going in. Maybe for all we know, maybe they'll, find a way to win that AFC South division, whatever. But as of now, I think the Steelers are going to, make good work of them. Eagles-Browns. I have the Browns taking this one. Eagles are a good team, but guess what? So are the Browns. Browns, I think at this point, really embrace the fact that, they're not as hyped up as they were last year, and I think that'll help them. I think they'll find an identity, find stuff that works, and, exploit those things. And I think it'll ultimately result in a pretty successful season. Next up, Bengals football team. I got Bengals. I think Joe Burrow versus Chase Young is obviously going to be a sort of headline heading in. I think Joe Burrow gets the best of Chase Young, and the Bengals come away with the win. Packers-Colts. I think it's got to be the Packers. I think Packers will, have a balanced attack, both running with guys like A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, as well as passing with, some guy named Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. I think Allen Lazard might be able to get into the mix this year. We'll see. I think they'll just be too unpredictable for the Colts defense. Cowboys-Vikings. I got the Cowboys. I think, Cowboys will be able to pull this off over the Vikings, who I think will struggle somewhat this year. Big part of that is losing Stephon Diggs. I think as long as Dalvin Cook stays healthy, they'll be fine. But I think Dalvin Cook is definitely going to be the biggest player on that offense for sure. Cardinals-Seahawks. I have the Seahawks taking this one. I think the Seahawks are a really good team. I think Cardinals are pretty good too, but I just think the Seahawks are going to be too much. Rams-Bucks. I got the Rams. I think, Bucks, they lost to I forget who, but I know they lost last week. And I think they'll lose again this week to the Rams. I think Sean McVay will look to get revenge on Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and company after that Super Bowl defeat. And I think the Rams will really, be chomping at the bit to go. Lions-Panthers. I got the Lions. I think these are 2 teams that are going to struggle. I think the Lions' offense will score a lot of points. I could see, a game 30s, maybe even well into the 40s in this matchup. Last game of the week, Falcons-Saints. I have the Saints taking this divisional matchup. It's going to be a really entertaining game, really fun game to watch. 2 high-flying offenses, but I think at the end of the day, the Saints will come away victorious. All right, last week recap. We'll go through it quick again, and then we'll just give you a quick rundown of updated records and standings. So first up, Cardinals-Patriots. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think Cardinals just have more skilled position players, players who can, make plays and beat their defender, and so I think they'll be able to come away with the victory. Chargers, Bills. I have the Bills taking this one. I think, I've said this probably about the Bills in about every one of my videos, but I really like them this year. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to win the AFC East, and I think that's, key component of that is beating a team like the Chargers. That's big for the next step because, when you think about a football team, it's not only beating the good teams, or like at least, going 50-50 with them, but it's also, a big part of it is just beating the teams that you're supposed to beat, and that's something that I think the Bills struggle with, have struggled with in the past, but I think this year gives a chance for them to kind of, combat that and establish themselves as a, good team in the NFL. So this is that matchup I was talking to you about a couple weeks back. Weeks back meaning like it wasn't the same video, but you know what I mean. Dolphins Jets. I got the Jets taking this one. It's at home. I think coming off their bye, Jets are going to be hungry to beat the Dolphins, and I think they get that done. Bucks Chiefs. I got the Bucks. I think this is going to be a very good game. Like Tom Brady has had, his ups and downs with the Chiefs, or against the Chiefs. To be quite frank, I think this will be kind of an up for them. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Yeah, definitely one that's going to be fun to watch. Saints Broncos. I have the Broncos winning this one. I think the altitude will be tough for Drew Brees. Drew Brees is obviously better in the dome. So playing in Denver isn't going to do him any favors. So, yeah. Raiders Falcons. I've got the Falcons winning this one. The Falcons are a good team. Not a great team, but I think they'll be able to pull off this win against Las Vegas in Week 12. Moving on, Ravens Steelers. This one's for you, Nick Mack. I got the Steelers. I think these are two teams that don't like each other particularly. And I think there are teams that always, when they play against each other, they always seem to have pretty good games. And I'm excited to see what this chapter, what's in store for this chapter. In my opinion, I think the Steelers will be able to come away victorious, but we'll see. Browns Jaguars. So I got the Browns. Browns are on a little bit of a roll right now, for the reasons that I've mentioned in the past. Just a lot of talent on that roster. And I think that'll, I don't think Jaguars will be too tough at this, but I think the Browns will have enough, firepower to pull off the win. Giants Bengals. I have the Bengals taking this one. I don't think the Bengals are that bad, to be completely honest with you. I think they're a team that can put together some wins because of having, a good week. I think they might, beat a playoff team, but then also lose by, 20-something to a team that isn't as good, right? I think the Bengals have that kind of boom or bust potential. Texans Lions. I got the Texans. Texans are playing tonight. I'm interested to see how they play. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Texans will come away with the win over the Lions. Titans Colts. I have the Colts winning this game. I think it'll be, once again, just another divisional matchup that's going to have a lot of ramifications on it with these two teams specifically. Considering I have them, and I think a lot of people have them at the top of the AFC South, and obviously the first tiebreaker is going to be head-to-head record. Especially for a division like the AFC South, where probably under the 3 wildcard team rule, they'll probably get a team in, but it's always nice to ensure a home playoff game. And, maybe face team that you feel you better match up against. So this is definitely a team with, or a game with a lot of, a lot line on it. I'll say that. Seahawks, Eagles. I got the Seahawks. Two really good teams. Two bird teams, as you can probably tell. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Football team versus the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys taking this one. I think they'll be able to pull it off, just because pure skill. 49ers, Rams. I actually have the Rams taking this one. Rams in their stadium. Be a little hyped up, ready to go. And I think they'll be able to come away with the win. Bears, Packers. I have the Packers. Packers are just going to be too much. They've had the Bears number for a while now. I think, this year won't be much different. Panthers, Vikings. I have the Vikings. I think this will be a pretty good game, but I think the Vikings will be able to come away victorious. So yeah, that'll be a good game for sure. Alright, moving on. Here are the updated standings. So there are two teams that have not had a bye yet. That is the Panthers and the Bucks. So they have played all 12 weeks, whereas everybody else has only played 11. So starting off AFC East, I think I have the Bills, practically running away with this division. Sitting at 9-2 currently. And then, it's pretty much over from there. And then, Jets 4-7, Dolphins 4-7, Patriots 3-8. I think these three teams will struggle this year. Especially struggle to catch the Bills. Three wild card spots. There's going to be a lot of people still in the hunt. I'm interested to see what is in store for the AFC East this year. Tom Brady list AFC East. And then AFC West, Chiefs 8-3, Broncos right up there with them, 7-4. I think those are two very good teams. Then the Raiders and the Chargers, I think, will struggle, but be able to at least compete with their other division members on a game-by-game basis. AFC North, Ravens 10-1. I think the Ravens, you can make the case, are the most complete team in the NFL. Obviously, they're in a tough division, and with three teams over 500, so there's only one other division with three teams over 500, and that is the NFC South. I think the Ravens will be able to, have control of that division. But this division is very good. I even have the Bengals at 4-7 right now. So. Yep. All right. Titans, Colts. So I have the Titans 7-4. Colts 6-5. I think this will be a race to watch down the stretch. Texans and Jaguars, I don't think have a chance. But hey, who knows? Crazier things have happened. NFC East. It's a story we've heard before. Cowboys and Eagles battling it out. Well, the Giants and the R-words, or the football team, kind of round out the bottom of not only division, but also the league. Next up, NFC West, which I think is a very good division as well. 3, even 4 very good teams. You think about it, you could make the case the Rams are the worst team in that division. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, yeah, just goes to show you the talent of the division. So I have the Seahawks leading at 8-3, 49ers close behind 7-4, Cardinals 5-6, as well as the Rams. NFC North, Packers I have 8-3. I think they'll have control of that division at least at this point in the year. So yeah, NFC South. I think this is a very good division, obviously. Saints 8-3, Bucks 7-5, Falcons 6-5, and the Panthers at 5-7. So anyways, I know this video went long, but yeah, I'll try to put out bold predictions tonight. I don't think I'll be able to do like weeks 13 through 17. I think that'll be too hard to do. But anyways, we'll see you next time. Good luck watching the game today. I don't know about you, but personally I can't wait. So yeah.